now from a group of 20 street performances. At its beginning in 1984, Cirque du Soleil has grown to become one of the most sought-after entertainment spectacles, with critics describing their performances as epic and the greatest show on earth. Well, joining me to discuss it is Mark Shaub, Artistic Director of the latest Cirque du Soleil production, Dralion, which is visiting London for a 5-night run. But before we speak to Mark, let's just show you why Cirque du Soleil has been described as the greatest show on earth. I never tire of seeing that incredible footage. It really is such a spectacle, isn't it? 7 million people agree with me because they've seen it across the world.
That's right.
And they've seen this particular show, Dralion, but tell me, you've revamped it a bit, haven't you? How have you done that?
Yes, we've, in 2010, Dralion went through a change. We had toured for 10 years under the big top in a large tent, and in 2010 we converted the show to fit into arenas such as the O2, where we'll be playing this week in London. And during that time we kind of tightened things up and you know, refreshed it a little bit.
Right. Why do you think this still captures so many people's imaginations? You've been going for a long time now, but people want to go back and back and back. Why is that?
Well, I think, you know, Dralion in particular, Cirque du Soleil has 19 different shows that are performing in different parts of the world. Dralion has been going for 15 years, but I think it really appeals to different people in a lot of different ways. It's a show with a broad range of emotions that people get from it. So it's something for all types of ages. There's wonderful acrobatics, beautiful choreography. The music comes from all over the world. We have live musicians playing the show every night. I think it just reaches a lot of people in different ways.
And what's the sort of, I mean, you talked a bit about it there, but what's the sort of inspiration behind the show? We're seeing some more images from it now.
Well, when it was created, Cirque du Soleil was looking for a vehicle to sort of celebrate the long history of Chinese acrobatics. And they found a way to bring a large Chinese element into the show and combine it with Cirque du Soleil's kind of multi-dimensional, multimedia approach to circus. And that's how they created Dralion, because Dralion is a combination of dragon from the east and lion from the west. And you see in some of the clips there that the large beasts, I don't think they're up there, but the large kind of dragon type figures, they're Dralion. So it's a mixing of east and west.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
To put on that sort of level of spectacle, how much work goes into that? All the costumes, all the choreography, how long does that take?
Well, I think to create a show from the beginning of its inception, where they start bringing the creators together, the choreographers, the directors, costume designers, makeup designers, composers for the music, it's about a 2-year process to create the work. We take, you know, we open tonight. We'll be in there training from about noon till 6 o'clock. So we'll go through all the numbers on stage, preparing them, making sure everything is ready to open tonight. So there's maintenance work that we do, and there's creation work that was done 15 years ago for it.
And apart from all that creation and maintenance work and so on, of course, there's all that training that goes in from the acrobats themselves. I mean, typically, the acrobats who perform, how long have they been doing this?
Well, we have some that have been doing it since they were little kids, you know, that come from a circus tradition, or they were trained in gymnastics as young, you know, 5, 6 years old, going through a gymnastics competitive career and then transitioning into a circus performer and learning other aspects of performing as an artist rather than a competitive gymnast or something. So they've been at it for a long time.
Right. And where do they come from generally? It's sort of got a Chinese tradition, but...
Well, we have a large contingent of Chinese acrobats in there, but we have people from Argentina, from Mexico, from Canada, from the United States, from Spain, from Russia, from Belarus, from all over. It's a very multinational cast.
And what's the regime like for those acrobats? Because presumably, you know, they've got to keep very fit, haven't they? By doing the work, they keep very fit.
By doing the work, they keep fit. They train. They get their rest. We travel with caterers, so we have good food. That's very important because, you know, you're there at the arena sometimes 10 hours a day, and it's good. It's very important to look after what you eat. But, you know, their regime is, we're on the road. We live in hotels. We travel all the time. We go from arena to arena, and you learn to live and take care of yourself in that kind of environment. But it is a special, very special environment in which to do that.
And there must be a great bond between all of you.
Yeah, we're a very, very tight group. I mean, we're 100 people on the road, but there's an atmosphere when you walk into the arena or you come backstage at Dralion. You can tell that it's, you know, I know it's a cliche to say this, but we are a big family. We travel together, we work together, we eat together, we stay in hotels together, but we're all united by trying to put on this show and make it as good as we possibly can. So we have a common goal, whether you're a technician working on the show or somebody who works in the office or an artist who's on stage. We're all trying to, you know, bring this show to as many people as we can in the best shape we can possibly do it.
I mean, you talked there about the travelling. You've been all over the world. What have been some of the highlights for you?
Well, one thing for me, it's wonderful to be in London because I grew up here when I was younger. I went to school here. I lived here back in the 70s. So this is kind of a homecoming for me because I haven't been back to London since I lived here. But we were in Russia this past winter, and I had never been there. It's a fascinating place. It's not an easy place to travel, but it's very interesting. We were in Beirut last fall. That was, I never thought I would be in Beirut performing, and we were there, and it was a wonderful, really incredible experience. I mean, it's hard to highlight one place, but I just think it's very interesting to go all over the world with this group of people and experience, you know, we have a routine, but we're all over the place when we do it, you know, so it's kind of a mix of working day and traveling the world and seeing these places that you never thought you would be.
That routine is that constant in your life, I guess. I mean, I suppose with many other arts, they don't necessarily sort of cross cultures terribly easily necessarily. I suppose, what do you find with where Cirque du Soleil is concerned? Do you have to adapt it in any way for different audiences, or do you find that it travels?
We've had to make some minor adaptations, sometimes to costumes, if we're performing in countries where the culture is perhaps less open to seeing bodies, seeing flesh. We've had to adapt costumes sometimes, but that's about it. I mean, the show is pretty, like I said, it has kind of a universal appeal. There's nothing overly risque about it. There's excitement, there's action, but it's not nothing that you could say is really controversial that we've had to change that much.
You're obviously the artistic director of this show. You've got a long association with Cirque du Soleil. You actually left, didn't you? What made you come back?
Oh, well, I mean, the job. Actually, I'm extremely lucky. I get to not just travel, but work with a group of artists, making a show happen night after night. My job is never the same. It's really exciting. I get to bring new artists into the show, integrate them, work with them on a daily basis. It's the job that brought me back, yeah, absolutely.
And just let's briefly, in the last few seconds that remain, just remind people where they can see Dralion.
The O2 Arena in Greenwich.
For a 5-night run.
That's right.
Well, very good luck with it. I think, are you already sold out, or?
I believe there are still tickets available.
Still a few tickets left.
Yeah.
All right then. Well, Mark Shaub, thanks very much indeed for joining us. Good luck with it.
Thank you very much.